welcome back. We're discussing the magic G chord. You know, there's so many great versions of a G chord, and this week I've been talking about the Jimi Hendrix magic G chord, which is this one. And we're going to get into that here in a minute. And what's cool about this particular G is if you do a bar G, it looks like that, right? But if you get your thumb up and over, if you can, a lot of us do it like this because it allows us to do stuff like, you know, that's the way Hendrix mostly did it. But what's cool about the Hendrix G chord, the magic chord, is you don't really have to worry about your low two strings, your E and your A. Mostly working off the D string, 5th fret, open G. So you got a, okay, it's on the same note, right? Like you're tuning. Okay, but now the difference is you get that first finger on the D note of the B string, which is the 3rd fret. And then you jump up to the 5th of that D note, which is a high A. And this is what gives it that kind of mysterious Hendrix. He was so free in his playing, wasn't he? I mean, I saw him in '68 when I was just a kid, and it just mesmerized me. And I think it kept me coming back, right? Frankly, you know, kept me mowing those lawns to get that first Les Paul Jr., but that's another story. So here we are with the Hendrix. You know, I look at when I'm doing like an E minor to G. That kind of thing. You can color it. Use it in that way. That's like a little wing kind of, which I give a long lesson at jimmydillon.com if you want to check out Little Wing. But I wanted to just show you this interesting way of doing G chord, sorry. I really like that sound. And you can pull off it too. So you can get real free with it. Slide up and down. You get that sound, okay? Now, the other thing we discussed this week was we talked about Jerry Garcia, another iconic guitarist, right, that many of you love, and I do. He used it in more of a country way on Friend of the Devil, where you had, this is the way I do it anyway, I'll start out with the same exact chord, but I won't go to that high A. I'll just let it ring out and bar these two, the 3rd fret of the B and the E. So it sounds like this, which is exactly like just like a regular G, a half chord, right? But you're opening up that 2nd finger and letting that G ring. And what that allows you to do is get that kind of banjo. That's a pretty cool thing. Or it lets you walk down. You've heard that a million times, a million different ways. Friend of the Devil is one of them. But what's cool about that is also if you play this full G chord and then open up that G string, it allows you to do a couple of moves that I really like, whether it's acoustic or electric, I use it, which is moving from G to F to G to F. I really like that sound because the quality of the open string, the open G, droning through it, to me is interesting more than, that's okay. But if I open up that G, so on. It's almost like you can get a chordal melody. You can fret it. Or you can move it down. Or you can go dissonant with it. And that's just the 3rd fret of the G string. That sounds like a banjo. Hey, Homer! Beverly Hillbillies! But I like that flavor. A little bit of it is nice. You know, a lot of these licks, a little bit goes a long ways. You don't need to overdo it. But anyway, I wanted to just kind of go deeper into how this magic G chord, I call it, can be used. And then sometimes I'll even, get adventurous with it, and I'll bring it all the way up to the 8th fret, sorry, which is where a C lives, the C chord, right? C. But if you got the strength, and it works really well on electric too, and you get that thumb over, you could do a, and then if you put your pinky on the 10th fret of the G string, it's kind of hard to stretch, but it's a cool sound. So you can go from almost has like a Pete Townsend. He's really rhythmically, I think, genius. So you can use that same form, this, as you can see what I'm doing, the same, it's like a G, but then open it up. Just keep that G open. And then put it on the 10th fret with the pinky. You can use it on the B flat too. All the way up and down. One of those kind of chords you can slide all the way up. Can you use it there? Kind of. A little hard to finger, but so truly you can use it up and down the neck anywhere you want. So it's just that droning G note that's just a constant in there. And I thought you'd like to, maybe have a chance to cop that chord and then maybe make your own, choices on where you want to go to it. Whether you go to an F or a C or a B flat or an A, or it's just fun. It's almost like an open tuning kind of move, isn't it? And then in terms of what we can do in the key of G, you can walk that down, come back to a G or go to a C, and then walk the C down. That's legit, right? There's again a million ways to go. So you got your 5. I'm going to call out the fret numbers here: 5, 4, 2, open, and then on the A string 3, 2, open, and then on the low E string 2, back to your root. So what you've really done there is you've gone from a regular higher G here, walked it down. You can either pick up that note or just go. Sorry. You want to get that, and then like this. Yeah. So you're letting that D note ring. I think that's part of the magic. Yeah. And then you walk the C chord down, like I just showed you. Again, picking up that high D. Looks like an A minor 7th there. And then here's the key, is go to the F sharp. And so you got the second finger, 2nd fret on the low E string, and the 3rd finger, 2nd fret on the G string. Pinch that. And then rest on your G. So that's worth showing you slowly. Right? And then walk down the C. Pick up that D note, and then down to a 1st fret on the B string, 2nd fret on the D string, which is an A minor 7th. And then here you pinch, is essentially a D chord, but you pinch the 2nd fret on both the the G string and the low E. That's really a D chord. And rest on the G. So I'm going to one more time, super slow for you. Yeah, you can pick up that D string if you want. And then rest on your G. So here's what it sounds like in a little bit up to tempo. I went all the way down to that low G and walked the C down, and then I hit that F sharp, the D chord, and then I walked the G down. And you're back to G. Let me take that low G, because I know you're going, wait a minute. I got the high one because you went slow, but what about the low one? When you finally get down to that, oh, sorry. Now walking the G down, it goes. So you're basically going G to a D chord with an F sharp in the bass, which is the 2 on the E string. There it is. So first one is here, G chord, then a D chord with an F sharp in the bass, second finger, second fret, E string, and then an open, just a plain old E minor, and then open up that D string, open that D string from the 2. So keep the E minor chord, but just lift that up and let the D string ring. So and then jump up to a C chord, okay, regular C, and do that C walk down with a D pinch on the third fret of the B string, and then A minor 7th, and then back to your D with an F sharp, right? Low E 2 fret, and back to the G. Does that make sense to you? Let me do the whole thing really slow for you. So ready? Here we go. Yeah. And then the low walk down. So that's a pretty cool. We traveled some miles there. We went from Jimi Hendrix, who played right literally around the corner from me, like 2 minutes from my house, Rainbow Bridge concert. So I can still hear Jimmy's white Strat howling through the canyons. I think his spirit was soaring around here. He played a concert called Rainbow Bridge here on Maui back in the day, and yeah, I missed that one. I'm sorry I wasn't living here then. I came in 71. My first trip to Maui, I think, was back in 71. But I did see Hendrix in 68 in Chicago. And I'll never forget that, man. That was, for me, that was a seminal moment for a young guitar player to see the master and really the height of his powers, I think. 68, he was killing it. I mean, he pretty much was all through, but I saw him again in 70. It wasn't quite the same thing, but that's a story for another day. So I'm just gonna slowly play through this little walk down thing I just showed you, and then I'm gonna play it up to speed. So. That's it. And thanks for coming by today. I hope that was a fun lesson for you. And we've got lots more. So I'm really enjoying these sunset sessions. So come back and see me. Till then, I'll see you down the road. Aloha.